Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge news. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Alina, Habba, the Department of Justice, President Trump have opened what is essentially a criminal investigation. Essentially a criminal investigation into New Jersey's governor. First and foremost, you will hear Alina Habba in a second, but I want people to understand something. When it comes to immigration laws, and when I do these this reporting or these videos on this topic, God bless the wonderful, amazing human beings and families and individuals and people from Venezuela, El Salvador, Mexico, the Middle East, anywhere around the world where people want to come to the United States for a better life. God bless you, undocumented or documented. The issue, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll hear Alina Habba in a second, is that all of this madness, all of this mess is 100% the Democratic Party's fault. President Trump, under Article 2 of the Constitution, is tasked with enforcing existing laws. He has won the popular vote, every battleground state, kept the House, won the Senate, won the executive branch, the presidency, with the popular vote. And he did so because people wanted him to enforce existing immigration laws. You'll hear from Alina Habba in a second. If anyone, Phil Murphy, any Democrat, is impeding or working to circumvent existing federal law pertaining to enforcement of any law, that person has committed a crime. And they're going to charge, they're going to arrest, they're going to charge, arrest, charge, indict, prosecute, and convict any Democrat and any Republican of committing a crime, a federal crime. You can't simply say we're the Democratic Party, we're going to give tacit approval to breaking the law, we're going to bend and twist existing laws, and we're just going to allow undocumented individuals. Again, God bless the individuals who are hardworking and wonderful people. But there's a difference between undocumented and documented. Democrats don't make that distinction. And it's a disingenuous, they don't make that distinction for a very disingenuous, selfish goal. They benefit politically. According to Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others, they benefit in many ways politically. But the issue here, and you'll hear Alina Habba in 1 second, is that the Democratic Party could simply, because they're very disingenuous in their alleged value system, Democrats can simply, and again, it's not Trump's fault, it's the Democratic Party's fault that these individuals are being deported. The Democrats can simply pass legislation stating, or push for legislation. They don't have the House, they don't have the Senate, they don't have the presidency, but they can push for legislation stating that undocumented individuals who perhaps committed crimes cannot be deported, or without lengthy due process, only with lengthy due process. Why don't they pass that legislation? Answer that in the comment section. Why don't Democrats pass legislation on Green New Deal, single payer, protecting undocumented immigrants? They don't do anything of the sort. Funding all the policies or programs at USAID that weren't being funneled back to Democratic candidates through non-governmental organizations. Why don't they pass legislation, foreign aid package, that addresses all the life-saving, and there were humanitarian projects, but unfortunately they were bundled with graft and potential laundering of money. But why don't Democrats pass a foreign aid bill aimed at addressing all of the programs cut at USAID that do benefit people around the world? Oh, they don't want to actually legislate. They go through lower court judges, and Trump is routinely getting Supreme Court victories, and then they try to legislate through governors and mayors that don't enforce existing laws. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Your super thanks is important. Let's get to Alina Habba.
And I am unfortunately going to announce on your show tonight, Sean, and I want it to be a warning for everybody, that I have instructed my office today to open an investigation into Governor Murphy, to open an investigation into Attorney General Platkin, who has also instructed the state police not to assist any of our federal, and they list our federal agencies that are under my direction, the FBI, the DEA, all these individuals that are trying to clean up our streets in New Jersey, not to cooperate. That will no longer stand. Pam Bondi has made it clear, and so has our president, that we are to take all violent criminals and criminals out of this country and to completely enforce federal law. And anybody who does get in that way, in the way of what we are doing, which is not political, it is simply against crime, will be charged in the state of New Jersey for obstruction, for concealment, and I will come after them hard. Those investigations will start immediately. The governor and the attorney general.
Let me ask you, Alina, because this is a really important question, because I have felt all during the Biden years, we had wide open borders, known terrorists, murderers, rapists, cartel members, gang members. We see all these Americans murdered, raped, victims of violent crime. And in my view, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I'll add Mayorkas to the list, they have blood on their hands. How is it not aiding and abetting in law breaking if you're a sanctuary city or state, or if you are ordering your law enforcement not to cooperate with federal agents when the Supremacy Clause gives the clout to the federal government over local officials anyway?
That's correct. And let me tell you, to my state officers in New Jersey, some of whom I met with today, I appreciate and respect what you can and cannot do. They don't have Title VIII authority. I understand that. But what they have been instructed to do by the AG and the governor, as is on their website, is to actually not even make the phone call to ICE when they run their record and see that there is a valid warrant, an administrative warrant ordering deportation. That is putting the people in my state in jeopardy, in a serious predicament, and our, frankly, state officers are now being held with their hands behind their back because they have people using politics over crime and the safety of the American people. Sean, you know how serious I am about law and order. I have been on the other side of it. I will literally just protect our people. That is what this is about, American safety. And if anybody wants to use politics or their position to go and violate any federal law or any executive order in this state, and that includes sanctuary cities, and I'm looking at you, Paterson, New Jersey, I will be investigating you. And if you did commit a crime, if you ordered obstruction, if you are ordering concealment and harboring, you will be charged.
So these are criminal investigations, and it's not difficult to find out if the governor of New Jersey or any mayor or governor in a blue state or red state, but likely a blue state, committed a crime. Number one, are they circumventing federal laws? Again, God bless documented, undocumented human beings who are beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. There's a reason, however, for the different words, documented and undocumented. There's a distinction. Democrats do not make the distinction. They don't make the distinction because it benefits them politically not to make the distinction. There's a political reason. It's not just altruism. It's not just because Democrats can look in the mirror and say, oh, we're such beautiful, wonderful, morally superior people. There was a political motive in not enforcing existing immigration laws that Democrats helped pass. There's a political motive in Democrats not amending these or reforming these existing laws in Congress, the legislative branch. It's not about altruism. If every single human being entering the country without documentation was a profound supporter of President Trump, you better believe Democrats would be manning every inch of the north and south of this country. But the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is that they are not enforcing existing laws, and they are doing so almost certainly in a criminal manner, Democratic governors and mayors.
You are, by definition, illegal, okay, per the executive order, per the federal law, which is what my job is to follow. It's not political. It's law. You do not come into this country illegally. If you do, you will be deported. Period. The end. Full stop. That's it. It's pretty simple. And I really want to ask people, when you go through this, when you're fighting laws, when you're fighting federal laws, in my state, in our state, Jesse, and obviously you're my neighbor, but in our state, we have issues where we have politicians standing up and trying to make a point directing state and local officials not to listen to federal law. How does that benefit the people you represent? I would love to see the state of New Jersey. I would love to see America. Everybody come together and say one thing: keep America safe.
The Democrats have a different definition of safety, national security, and other topics than most Americans. Hit subscribe to this channel. This is huge news. Thank you so very much. We'll have a live stream later.